It seems like all the easy lizards are the ones everyone already has, but what if you want something different? These are the top 5 easiest lizards to care for, and you've never heard of them. I love making these videos because the easy reptiles, although they're always amazing, sometimes they get a little bit boring, or at least boring to hear about because everyone's talking about them. These 5, unless you're a real reptile person, you probably never heard of. So let's just start it off with number 5, Reptiles Fantasticus, otherwise known as the satanic leaf-tail gecko. Now, you've probably seen them before, but do you know anything about them? Luckily, I've had the opportunity to work with breeders of them and find them in the wild. And let me tell you, they are some of the coolest lizards on the planet. First of all, leaf-tail geckos in general are really cool. There's a bunch of really cool ones, big ones and small ones, but the Fantasticus, the satanic leaf-tail geckos, are known as the smallest, or there's a debate, maybe second smallest of the Reptiles. And they're a species that is only found in Madagascar. What's crazy about them is you'd think an animal that looks this exotic loves warm temperatures, and they don't. They like it a little bit more humid and a little bit cooler. Now, obviously, we in captivity keep them according to care sheets, and what we recommend, or the experts recommend, is keeping them no higher than the mid 80s, maybe even low 80s. Obviously, do your research with someone who actually keeps them. I don't. But where we found them in the wild, they were actually in a place where it was like 95 degrees, but that's probably only for a little bit of the day to get a little sun because they are nocturnal and they're going to spend most of their time moving around at night. And during the day, it is almost impossible to find them. They're really small and they camouflage perfectly. Some of them even have these little notches in their tails that mimic a leaf, and they barely move. But once you spot one, you know what it is immediately, because they look so intense, just absolutely intense. I love looking at them. I think they're super cool. I don't keep them, but if you want a small gecko species that's around at night, like to keep it a little bit cooler, and although they're not the cheapest thing in the world, the price is definitely attainable, and make sure that you always buy captive bred. Don't buy the ones that are brought in from Madagascar. It's just a bad idea. They're gonna have parasites. There's lots of captive breeding going on. Number 4, collared lizards. So unbelievably underrated. I remember when I first got into making reptile videos, or was thinking about starting a channel, I followed this channel called ER Bros. They introduced me to this species, and I've been in love with them ever since. However, I've never had the opportunity to keep them until next month. So maybe hit like and subscribe, because we're gonna be making some content about them. Now, these are a species where there's several different species. So it's a genus with lots of species. And by lots, I mean a few anyway. And collared lizards, all of them are the same in that they come from North America. Some of them, like the Wichita version, are a little bit more red and drab, and then some of them, like the Easterns, are blue and vibrant. But what they all have in common is they don't really make any noise. They're not, they're not making chirps or anything like that. So you're not gonna have to worry about noise just like most lizards, but they're really fast, and they're very active, and they're diurnal. So unlike the Europlatus we spoke about, these guys are actually up and around and moving during the daytime, much like a bearded dragon, which of course won't be on the list. But imagine a smaller bearded dragon. Obviously not from the same area, but they like it dry. They like it relatively warm. They need UVB. These are really cool species that love to chew and eat bugs, and they do it in the craziest way. They run, they grab them, they don't kind of wait for them to come to them. They go and get the insects. They're really hunting, and they do it quickly. They're bouncing around all the time, and you can cohab them if you do it right. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make a video about cohabbing collared lizards before I keep them, but there's lots of great channels that explain it in depth. Always be safe, or keep one by itself. But either way, I think that having a trio of these as your main display animal in your living room in a big enclosure with a really cool custom background, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, foreshadowing, is a cool way to do it. I love the species. I can't wait to keep them, especially since some of my friends who live in Texas and Oklahoma, they see these guys in their backyards. And in the wild, you're gonna see them run on their back legs, this bipedal fashion, in the same way that you'd see a basilisk run, or even a frill dragon sometimes. So they're just unique, obligate carnivores. I can't wait to see mine bouncing around in my house. It's really gonna be a dream come true, and kind of one of those fulfilling things where I thought about it for almost 10 years, and then now I'm finally gonna have them. Plus, these lizards look super sharp, and so do I, thanks to today's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is the pinnacle of value and quality all in one. And that's why I got the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, which features the Lawnmower 5.0. And whether it's for your face or something a bit more sensitive, this is the only trimmer that I trust. Because if you put a blood python and a ball python together, it's okay to have blood balls, but you don't want to when you're trimming. Because this trimmer elevates your grooming game with the next-gen dual skin-safe blade heads, which is accompanied by the upgraded trimmer blade, an interchangeable foil blade for enhanced performance. Longer, wider, and rounder teeth that cut through hair with ease. Tough on hair, but incredibly gentle on all of your skin. But the real game changer is the foil blade. Irresistibly sleek and utterly bare, which is what we're all going for. It doesn't matter if you're getting ready for today or the big day. The only way I'm trimming any hair at all is with Manscaped. Plus, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra also has a bigger LED light that introduces dual temperature feature. If you want a warm light or a cool light, Manscaped's got you. Plus, it's USB-C charging, and it has a bar on there to tell you when it's about to run out and it's time to recharge. Oh yeah, and it's still waterproof. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra also includes the Weed Whacker 2.0. Waterproof, cordless, rechargeable, and also built with skin-safe technology. Complete with the Crop Soother and Crop Preserver. Long-lasting and super fresh. Exactly what you're going for. Plus, when you get the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you get 2 free gifts. The Boxers 2.0 with a jewel pouch. I'm wearing these literally right now. And Manscaped threw in their Shed 2.0. So join the 10 million men worldwide who have put their confidence in Manscaped for all the things grooming and hygiene. Head over to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra today. When you use my promo code WWR20, you'll get 20% off. Plus free international shipping and 2 free gifts. That's 20% off plus international shipping and 2 free gifts when you use my promo code and you get 20% off. Get Manscaped today. Trust me, your balls will thank you. Number 3, Sarasin Orbs. Okay. This is one of the coolest species that, again, most people don't know about. Imagine a crested gecko, but maybe a little bit different in size, but pretty darn similar. They're from the same area of the world, New Caledonia. In fact, Gran Terra is where they're from, or Gran Terra, depending on how you pronounce it. So from the same exact island that you'd find Leachianus geckos, they have the same diet as a Leachianus gecko, or say a crested gecko, or at least very hyper 99% similar, in that they're frugivores. And considering I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and I've never heard that phrase in my life, you learn something new every day. Frugivore means they eat fruit and insects, according to Wikipedia, and you can't lie on there. Anyway, vulnerable status, so if you get them, make sure they're captive bred. I don't really know if there's any being shipped here anymore, or if there's poaching going on. I mean, probably, but always buy captive. The issue with Saras, and the reason I think that they're so uncommon in comparison to, say, gargle geckos and especially crested geckos, is Saras are gonna be a few $100s each. So I saw them for $450 and $550, so $1,100. I think they were doing a special $1,000 for the pair, where female is being more expensive, and they're just so similar to a crested gecko. And unless you know, you don't really know. If I showed my mother a picture of a Sarah and then a Cresty, she'd have no idea. She'd never be able to tell the difference. But if you are a reptile person who wants something unique and special and something you can handle and is gonna be out, probably not during the day that much, but isn't gonna be skittish, and it's just a pleasant animal to be around. Plus they're arboreal, so a lot of us like bigger enclosures that are taller anyway. Just more fun to watch, and in general, really cool lizards. Number 2, Chinese cave geckos. Now, there's also Japanese cave geckos too, but I prefer the Chinese cave geckos because they're easy to find captive bred and they're cheap. So a lot of the times when I make videos like this, people will say, well, it's cost prohibitive. And for some people it is, and I agree. Spend the money on your enclosure and the setup, and sometimes you want it to be a cheaper animal because you put all your money into setup and care. And with the Chinese cave geckos, why not both? You know, you can have an animal that isn't crazy expensive to set up in the first place. They like it cool. They like rocky faces, so you can have like a background that they climb on because their feet are super duper strong. And they like it cooler, so humid, cool, and they like to climb, although you want to give them lots of space vertically because technically they're a terrestrial animal. And they're very similar to African fat tails and to leopard geckos. So it's not gonna be something totally out of the realm of what you might be comfortable with. And people, when they see it, they're probably gonna think, oh wow, that's the coolest morph of a leopard gecko that I've ever seen, when really, I think I've said this before, but it's like, imagine if a leopard gecko started up an emo cover band. Like, Chinese cave geckos are the Fall Out Boy cover band of geckos. Insectivores, super simple. I mean, all of these are beginner reptiles, and that's why they're on the list, so they're all really easy, but I think it bears repeating. And number one, I'll give you an opportunity to guess. Go ahead, in the comments. Mountain horn dragons. You were right. Now listen, if you watch my videos, you know about mountain horn dragons because I talk about them too much. However, if you don't watch these videos, there's very few people who talk about them, and I don't know why. This is a species that come from Asia, Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, places like that. And I actually found a species in Thailand, and I have a different species in my own care. I love the fact you can have big ones. The capras are gonna be, 14 inches, something like that. Or you can have Lepidogastr, the small ones, the dwarf ones that I have, that are gonna be 8 inches or something like that. So if you want a big one or small one, but they all have the same thing in common. They love water, but it needs to be moving, and they love height. So if you have, say, a 3 foot tall by 3 foot wide enclosure, 16 inches deep, very common, most people know where to get these, Zoo Med or wherever else, and you can have them as a paludarium, or you can have a half paludarium, places for it to climb. They're gonna be diurnal, so they're out during the day. And although a lot of the times they're just kind of chilling, waiting for food, a lot of the times if you put insects in there, holy cow, they are fast and so much fun to watch. And because if you get the smaller version, especially, you can keep an enclosure that's, 36, 36, 18 and watch them all go crazy for these medium crickets or roaches or whatever you're gonna feed them. So no matter how you slice it, they're super fun and so cool and just so adorable also, and they're not boring, and your friends probably don't even know what they are when you walk into a room. I've been doing this channel for 6 years. I didn't know what they were until like 3 years ago when I walked into Daffy's Reptiles collection. He's like, bro, look at these things. And ever since, I've been in love. I have them. I can't wait to get more. Mountain horn dragons are easily number one on this list. Let me know in the comment section below what you think the easiest and most I've never heard of this lizard is that you can keep as a pet. As always, please hit like and subscribe. Seriously, it helps so much on the channel. And as always, the Patreon subscribers, you guys get videos early, discounts on merch. You guys get one-on-ones. I've done some of those. So fun. I love talking to you guys. All that for as little as $1 a month. That's it. I do videos Mondays and Thursdays. I'll see you in the next one.